Here we are. I'm
Good
Isabel
morning.
Harkins, and this is I-Rama.com. Please like if you do, subscribe, and make comments because Celeste and I will be glad to answer your questions and to fulfill all these spaces. And I'm going to put all her links so we can actually share with her so many beautiful things she teaches and works with, and you guys can connect with her because it's very powerful. We just did something for me that I was feeling exhausted and I feeling betrayed, backstabbed, by somebody that gave a very large opportunity that I thought was a nice woman and is a
Yeah.
therapist, and all that. And Celeste just did some work with me, and Celeste there.
I have a message that literally just was channeled to me through Gaia yesterday as I was walking around on my beautiful property, this piece of land that I've been entrusted with to awaken and to receive from. And I like to open all of our, because this is what you're tuning into is a live channel. We're not here just to talk. We are here in the now moment with something that whenever you receive it is for now. And that is the essence of life. That is the spirit, that is inspiration, the breath that I'm sharing with you. And we all co conspire, which means we are breathing together. So, with all of that said, let's just open up with a breath. So, if you are able and not driving, close your eyes and we'll take 3 collective breaths together. I want you to put a hand on your heart. Breathe in through the nose, fill your belly, fill your chest, and exhale through the mouth. Let that oxygen just sink all the way down. Do it again. And as you exhale, I want you to give to the earth everything that is heavy for you. Another breath, belly, chest, and feel gravity just pull it all the way down and down and down and down into the earth. And this last one, I want you to feel rain washing you as you exhale. So breathe in, belly, chest, and from above your head, just feel the water help cleanse the atmosphere as it washes your literal cells, your ionic sphere, your external body, your energetic field, and carry all of that pollution into the earth where it's going to be purified. That is what the aquifer of the earth does. And we say, thank you, thank you, thank you. So, what I have learned is that all of life is here to support us. Even the hard things that we go through are an opportunity for us to step into a new level of expansion. And the hard thing is that it's hard, right? When a butterfly is pushing her wings out of the chrysalis as we are continually transforming and transmuting, and we are in spring right now. This is happening. This is what my friend Isabel was literally talking about, is the expansion of new authority, of a new reach, her growth, her influence is literally unfurling with color, with beauty, with intricacies that, as unless you could see it under a cosmic microscope, you can't even understand, Isabel, this new profound glory that is coming to you, through you, and for you. And the initiation, we're always invited into initiations, and it is really how we handle initiation, whether we get to grind through it, how long we want to carry it, and when we give it to Mama Gaia, when we look at the abundance of nature all around us, we can see that um, it is always for us. And so yesterday, as I was walking around the yard, I realized that a lot of people are going through this really heavy. We're feeling very heavy. We're feeling tired, right? Not not just you, but I've been feeling particularly heavy, and I'm sleeping better. Um, my partner is going through things. There are other very beautiful, powerful, spiritual women who I know who are enduring things in their body that just seem a little bit off. It doesn't make sense. Not when you're taking care of yourself, not when you're listening, not when you're here in congruence, in service to the vessel and the vessel in service to you. And so, what Gaia was talking to me about is that I'm gonna go ahead and just go deep, okay? So I hope all y'all are into like my woo, or it's actually science, but we are right now downloading a lot of cosmic energy into the earth. Each of us that are standing here as a channel, arms held wide in worship, saying, "Yes, Spirit, come. Yes, Spirit, come. Yes, Spirit, come." We are asking that the new earth move through us, that this heaven come through us and be planted in the earth. And that is a process of giving birth, and birth is messy and it's not pretty. And when you see a new baby, they're also not necessarily like we love them. They breathe their first breath. And I just want to like back this up a little bit because that is where we are. But in this, we are always in every stage at the same time. There is no true future. There is no true past. We are here now experiencing all of it. But the now present experience where we are feeling heavy in our body is because we are in a gravitational atmosphere. The earth has a very deep gravitational pull. We, as carbon-based beings, although we have more space between our literal atoms, there's more heaven in your body than there is earth. We are bringing heaven to earth. And so we feel heavy and we feel tired and we feel slow.
Mm.
And the message was that this is like the first trimester. And in the first trimester, everything is changing on the inside of the mama. And if we look at, the analogy I'm going to continue to give probably forever is the butterfly and the chrysalis, one of changing from one thing to a completely another being. When the caterpillar is in the cocoon, the chrysalis, it turns to goo. It turns to this red, soupy goo. And literally the cells start fighting against each other. They're called imaginal cells. So right now, with our imaginations, with our meditations, with our breath, with the work that we continue to show up and do by choosing love, by saying, yes, I hurt, but I choose love. Yes, this doesn't make sense in the world, but I choose love. Yes, maybe at the end, Isabel, we'll do a meta meditation. And we will send loving kindness to the world. Yes, this is not the reality that I came for, but I choose love. And by continuing to choose to be love and light, we are signaling to the cells that are wanting to come forth and create the butterfly. And yet the old system, the old way of being, this old 3D reality that we are seeing crumble, and it's in chaos and there's so much darkness. It's really like, where do we want to put our attention? Do we want to focus on that, or do we want to give all of our energy? Because where your energy goes, where your attention goes, energy flows, right? So let's give all of our energy. We are here to be creators. We are here to like birth. To the word right now that I'm hearing so much is midwife. We are here to midwife this transition from the old to the new paradigm. And that requires a lot of patience. So I kind of feel like the role is slowing down here. That's kind of the message that's been on my heart, to really, how can we um, love each other? How can we take better care of each other? How can we midwife one another through this? How can I hold you? Because it's not just about self compassion anymore. That can be, uh, oh, look, there's butterflies. These are very important to me. It's the only tattoo on my body. And it untethered me from my old life when I marked myself. It untethered the the grind, the goo, and really accelerated me on this path of saying, yes, I'm here to be heaven on earth. I'm here to bring heaven to earth. So we're called right now to hold one another, to be patient with one another, to provide healing, and just to be, and to understand that um, nature is going to nature. It's going to do its thing. The butterfly will emerge. The cherry tree will burst into bloom. Everything is going to happen in its own sweet time. And there's actually nothing we can do to make it faster or slower, but we can be present with it. And that is the gift. That is the power. And that is the breath. So when the baby is born, it takes its first breath. So let's be here and be willing to participate in that process. That's it. Thank you. My name is Celeste, and I'll be here for questions after. Just kidding. That's kind of how it works for me. I think I just flow and flow and go.
Celeste, how can we work with, staying in the neutral? Because I know that that's so needed. You know, it's so much coming from every side. And, um, you know, feeling compassion, feeling this, forgiveness or whatever. And I learned from a friend of mine, and I said, yeah, forgiveness. He goes, no, because if you say, I forgive you, you put yourself above the other person. So reconciliation, he said. And I'm like,
Mm.
oh, that's interesting. And my mother was Tibetan Buddhist, and she always said, we're not above or below anybody. We always, meet in the middle. But it's so much happening at once right now, and so much going on. Even though I live like you, I in my 14 acres somewhere outside towns, and I don't really engage with big, amount of people or going to. It still gets me the fact that people are trying to find their way, and being in the work that yourself and I myself do, we attract people that are seeking growth through the ones with the light, or ones that they perceive that they're better than them. I don't know the story because it's not my story, but staying in that space, because I had a real big hurt um, with a girl that I used to do the podcast, and you know her. And to be honest with you, I have no idea. She exploded. She started screaming. She cut off everything, and she took a lot. I mean, we have a lot of the files are in her hands, and it's a lot of negativity there that I really wish I didn't have to deal with. But my husband's business got compromised with what she did. I don't know if she did it intentional or unconscious, because she's got a lot of anxiety and you know, a lot of hurt on her side. I don't really know. I don't comprehend it, and I try very much the compassion. I try very much, all of that. But unfortunately, she dug in into places that I protect, like my husband business and such. And so this escalated to a higher level. And I'm sure this is a great test for me to grow or something. But at the moment, in between all the clients, all the work that I do, I'm kind of tired, and I think when we are physically and mentally tired, things can slip in a little deeper or slip in. Even though we have this understanding and protection, whatever it is, it's, I was talking to one of the shamans, friend of mine from the Amazon, and he said, all the shadow people are awake right now and trying to grab whatever light they can, but they don't want to work for it. They want to just snatch it from the ones that have it. And it was very interesting, his take. He's from the Amazons, very powerful shaman, seconder guy, and that was very profound to me, Celeste. It was very profound that some people are born in the shadow and they're waking up right now, perhaps to grab some of the light, to have some growth. I'm not sure. He was really clear about it, and I was like, okay, I forgot about that, because a yogi that I worked with before, Yogananda, have taught us that about shadow, and it's very profound. In India, it's a lot of, that distinction of the shadow beings and the shadow. What is your take on that?
I can only be responsible for myself.
Mm,
And my job, my one job, is to keep this channel clear.
mm,
And the only way that I know to keep this channel clear is to keep leaning into love and to keep leaning into light.
mm,
And whether we want to use the word forgiveness, reconcile, I know that I'm going to speak to Christ consciousness here, because I do believe that there is real power in that, and that on the that there is a place where we are all on a level playing field, and whether we are gathering our power from the shadow or whether we are gathering our power from the light, like, there was an intersection where we can choose to walk in karma, where we're doing bad until we learn to transmute, right? Whether we have to do evil deeds in order to receive the repercussions of those, the cause and effect world, or we can say, I see that, I recognize that I was there once, because on this, okay, you asked me that on this spectrum of light and dark, I feel like there is a place in the infinite where it all is the same, where one turns into the other. And I recognize that I was that person once.
mm,
And by knowing that, that gives me the ability not to be better than, but to say, I have learned. I have learned, and what I desire more than anything is to see the beauty, to meditate on beauty, to focus on love, and to be a channel of light. And that continually calls me into positions where I have to make choices, but I'm not choosing from a place of karma anymore, and it becomes easier and easier and easier, because my relationship, my communion is with the light. My communion is with love. And so when I pray Ho'opo'ono, I'm forgiving the universe. I'm asking that the universe would forgive me for needing to have this experience in order to transmute another level of light. There is a place where I feel like we all are we call into ourselves the lessons that we need. And so receiving that in humility. This is so funny. There was this bumper sticker I got called from Maui, and it said, um, "Plant seeds, scoop poop, stay humble." And I think in that there's so much. It reminds me that I may be anywhere in that process at any of the time, and that my, like I said, I can only control what I think about. And so it is honestly sometimes a rebalancing continually to get my soul out of the wrinkle until I'm in alignment again with light. And so what I find is like gratitude, like we started with, gratitude, like tunes me in. We move through the outer courts into the inner sanctuary through gratitude and then through praise. And then when we come into a place of worship, we are literally in communion with the light. And we're like, this is, and that's when we're at total rest, we're not working and we're channeling, we're downloading light, we're making a difference in the world, we're flowing from pure love. Um, and I think for you and for anyone that has ever experienced betrayal, I have. Haha. Big. I think that was really like it was a karmic lesson I came here to learn and to experience and to move through was that, and I hope I never have to do it again. Um, but I know what that was like. And it's expanded my capacity to now say the way through is clean. Just, I'm going to use the word forgive, but by forgiving that I had to have this experience, I reconcile. And so I think that's so true. We are ambassadors of reconciliation, those of us who are called right now to bring heaven to earth. Does that make sense?
Oh,
Is that
so much.
really long?
It's like
But
sense. It's you know, we do the work. I mean, I was born doing the work with the shaman people that I grew up in Peru and Amazonians, and my entire life has been. But I completely got reminded by you right now of things that I know. You know, we know all this, right? We work with people. We wish for the world, the planet, the meditations every day, and sometimes it's a saying, you know, that the chef has wooden knives at home. So we, our tools are put somewhere for some reason that we forget to use them for ourselves. And that for me is a reminder of something that I've been doing more and more, to have self love and self care, to go on into the forest and sit with the trees, to be with the animals. You know, last night I had the visit of a beautiful black bear, and bears
mhm.
are, you know, den people. They're telling me, you know, go within, and family is very important to them, uh, to do berries and
Oh
to,
my goodness.
yeah, all his
I
medicine.
I love how
Mm,
the universe is so Gaia, so supportive, and for those
yeah,
who know how to listen, always helping us.
yeah,
We just have to ask for help. And I put my hands on my heart a minute ago because I was just so full of gratitude for you, Isabel, to be so humble in this moment because there are times when I need help. I need help from my friends. I need help from other people walking the way to come around and gird me and remind me and teach me something I don't know, remind me of the tools that I forgot, and help me just pour some of that love back on me. So,
yeah.
God,
And how
Thank you.
betrayals never existed. Only the reminder to reconnect, right? To
Mm,
reconnect to the source, to reconnect to where
right.
no matter what somebody can do, no matter what it can be in the past, we are perfect beings. And Deepak always says in the classes, he said that part of us where nothing can burn us, nothing can drown us, nothing can blow us away. It's just the magnificent, and even, not even, but Gandhi said that, they can take my clothes, they can take all my possession, but they cannot take my true me. And
Yeah.
it's something that I want impeccable, and I'm forever grateful for you because to me, you are like this butterfly goddess that Gaia created, the priestess that I know my sisters from ages. I know my sisters. And all of us are back together from
Mm,
Lemuria, from Atlantis, from all the Celtic stories. We now together, all the circle of women, all the power of the creators. Because men are donors to me, and that's what I was taught. I grew up in with the tribe that I grew up. It was matriarch, like the elephants.
mm.
They did have children, but the men
Oh.
didn't live there. Didn't live there. They have relationship. My mama, Andrea. I can feel her
Mhm.
right now. Her man was a shuar, the shapeshifter, the head of the tribe in the Amazon, where the headhunters too. So if you can't think right, your head is going to shrink, but they physically did that. And to be honest with you, knowing that path and the reminder from my sister here that, yeah, sometimes in our little community of who we are, one of us wake up with a little tummy ache or wake up with something, and the other ones pick up the slack and they let you rest and they offer that tea or
Mm.
everything you did before we started the recording, and all that I was feeling went away. The dagger in my back went away. Everything that it was trying to squish down what I'd been trying to do went away. And it's very interesting, Celeste, because you told me this. And the other day, after all this event, I was like, whoa, uh, sat in meditation, and I said, you told me to do this. You gave me the opportunity. You have created this for me. I'm gonna grab the plug because if not, we're gonna run out of juice. I'm sorry. You gave me this. What am I doing? And they told me very clear, keep going,
Mhm.
keep going, keep going, because we're behind you. Keep going, because this isn't yours. Keep going. You're doing this for many.
Yes,
Keep going.
because none of us are alone. We are
No.
not alone. And I think that is, it's important to always know that we are not alone. We're not alone in our suffering, and we're not alone in our glory. So the abundance that we experience is always being shared. There is no selfishness in nature.
Hmm.
It's a level playing field.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just heard, and here she is the hummingbird. And the
Yes, I just
hummingbird,
had one too.
The hummingbird in the Native American tradition is the ancestors that they bring love back to you and the connection to the chain, you know. Um, it's just being, I love nature. That's that's my place, and it is yours. I love rocks. I love to connect and go inside a tree and know that that support. Um, and I'm so happy to see you. You're well settled. You have a great partner. So do I. And that's one thing other people may be lacking, you know, for now. Or they decided that at this particular moment it wasn't something that, you know, they wanted in their field. Because we make unconscious decisions, you know. With all the hypnotherapy clinical that I've been working, I will not work in clinical, but diving in into these labyrinths of the mind is fascinating. How the subconscious mind rules 88% of all the functioning of our sleep organs and all these different files. It's just fascinating how much gift we have,
Mm.
you know?
And the little bit, like, I'm so curious. For me, the path is how can I be aware? And sometimes I've noticed I'll completely miss things that are in my house. Like I didn't even notice, this or that, or crazy things that I'm like, how did I even miss that? Or but being conscious to be aware. Once I was going through so much trauma and distress in my body and in my mind and in my life. And I was so departed from myself that I missed the changing of the season. I missed being able to stop and like admire a tree and just worship creator because of this brilliance. And I decided afterwards I will never again miss a season. And I think awareness is so potent. And so I would love to learn how is what you're learning gonna give like me another tool to be more aware in my life so that like we just experienced all the previous part of this podcast, like it all has to do with awareness that everything is happening for us, and how can I use this fuel for my fire in Aries season, right? How can I use this as fuel to transcend, transmute, and create something beautiful, beauty for ashes, which comes through the fire? So how can I be more aware of like everything, just can you give me another awareness tool?
Sure, we can set up a trance time with you of a journey, and I use my knowledge that I've been accomplishing lately and all the years, but um, I like to journey through the silver cord to reach the inner part of ourselves, right?
What is
Where,
the silver cord? Even for
where,
our listeners, can you explain that?
well, the silver cord is what attaches to spirit, you know. And when we leave our body, we disconnect that silver cord because we become it. Okay, we become that radiance of the silver. We become the full spirit. But in the meantime, we just have this cord attached to our belly button. Is what gives
Mm-hmm.
us life, right? And people now are discovering that they say, well, that's the second brain. No, that's the first brain. That's the creating brain. That's where we became a human, where that egg and the sperm connected. And through that, created that connection to Mother Maker. And that's that cord that is connected to the creation, to the creator, to your being, your true being, you know, because we could not sustain just by being bones and brains and that. without the divine energy and the silver cord. So, in the shamanism work that I grew up with, we travel through that cord, through all those levels and all those veils that, they keep us in delusion. And we can lift those veils. And when we arrive to the true place, it does all these different veils. They're being called files, they become occasion records, they become so many things, right? So we don't revise every one of them. We revise the one that is pulled out for us to now acknowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And now we ask in that moment with kindness, forgiveness for ourselves and whatever the event that happened to remind us and kind of set up like a little flag or a little soft alarm that says nature or the seasons are the most important thing here for me in this lifetime. So even with a little flower or with a little leaf that it falls in the fall, connect me to the love that I have for these seasons and this time. And we see what we need and how they want to communicate with us. And we set it up with the subconscious mind to remind us. Because the mind and the subconscious mind want to keep us safe. But it does it in ways that they're a little alarming, or with betrayals, or with setbacks, or partners leaving, or whatever that is. And at this point in my life, I want to make it a little less acute. I want a simple reminder, like the bear, that they like den, that they like protecting their family, that they will always have resource because a bear can smell a patch of berries across 2 mile forest with all the
Wow.
other smells. So I work with very beautiful bears. I work with huge bears, with 1,300, 1,400 pound Kodiak bears, which are the only bears that actually hunt humans, but they live in an island. But in movies that I did, like Dr. Dolittle, there was Aliu, and he loved me, and I was kind of apprehensive, and I kept telling the trainer and mama that raised him since baby. She kept saying, Aliup wants to kiss you and he loves you. And I was like, well, half of my body is the size of his head. I was like, hmm. At one point I did, and I kissed him. I had pictures with him, and I leaned into him, and I never abused the kindness of this bear because I didn't want him to get accustomed to humans, because not everybody likes them and they have a lot of judgment. But I think that connection with the love, they feel it, they know it, you know. One day I was the whole day with a monarch butterfly in my head. I was hiking, I was doing all that, and she was with me the whole day. That's the transformation that I got from her. And I think if we connect to the basic and if we do a journey for you, if you want to be that present, or you can command to be present only when it's needed. Because right now the energies are a little muddy, and I want to be present for what serves and for my animals and nature. But I have a certain amount, and I dial that up in the room of the mind. I dial the certain amount of presence right now. So
I
I
think
don't.
it's really, really important for all of us to be present right now, however that works for us. I mean,
Right.
when I woke up this morning and I had a tummy ache like at 4:30 or something, and then when I got up, I still had it. I just walked out in my robe and put my feet in the grass.
Mm.
That was my my body just led me to do that. And I know that may not be everybody's practice. That's something
Yeah,
I've trained.
I do
Oh,
too.
and
Yeah.
you asked something earlier about how do we, and I think this is really good, and I'm not sure how long this is, but I definitely want to get this out there, is how do we walk through these times where things feel so chaotic? And I think the answer is having practices, because if we don't put, as humans in this human experience, these structures in our life, we will be tossed by the wind and the waves. But if we have anchor points, this is how we tether ourselves in our becoming.
Yeah.
So making your tea a ritual,
Yeah.
making your mornings, putting your feet in the grass, drinking cold water, looking at the sun, touching trees, touching leaves. These are all very grounding things. Whatever we can do,
Hmm.
whatever anyone hearing this wants to do. Some of my practices are journaling, all of the things I've mentioned, going out in nature, listening, and really just being giving whatever we need to do to get quiet, because um, that is where we find God. Be still and know.
Yeah.
When you be still and you know that I am, it
Mm.
brings you back to your essential self, beyond everything else, beyond the clothes you wear, the experiences that we're having, the roles that we play in this life, back connecting us to source,
Yeah.
that we are, and we can see ourselves then. We can see ourselves as a masterpiece. We are a piece of the master. We are living art.
Yeah.
And when we appreciate ourselves as
Mhm.
art, we can see art all around us, and we can see art even in the destruction or the chaos that a sister or a brother is creating for themselves in this part of their journey. And we can send them some compassion, saying, I see you,
Mhm.
and I wish that you would not have harm. I
Yeah.
wish that you would not embrace the things that cause you suffering. I wish that you would find peace and find the things in your life that bring you joy. Just like in I went live the other day on Instagram, and we did this compassion meditation where we sent compassion to someone we love. There's the hummingbird. They show up when I'm speaking truth, where we send compassion to someone who we love, to someone we feel neutral about, to someone who we have a harder time with. And then we bring all of that back to ourselves. And the more that we practice this loving kindness, I really think that the more we're going to be able to walk tenderly with ourselves, which means we'll walk tenderly and lightly upon the earth.
Mhm.
Because the more, this is probably for, yeah, that's for another conversation, but the earth is our extended body. And
Mhm.
in order for us really to have a global awakening of being the stewards of this planet,
Yeah.
not the takers, we need to cherish this body and recognize that we can't take from, the more we take from our human vessel, the more we're going to wear it out. We can do the same to the earth. The more that
Yeah.
we take from her, the faster we're going to wear her out. So how can we give back? How can we hold gently? How can we be like the first trimester mother of her first baby, who's like, oh,
Yeah.
there's all these strange things going on in me, and just take a moment and into it and be with. And even if we don't know what we need right now, be aware that we don't know what we need and open. I
Yeah.
think that always thinking that I know what I need is like, it's not humble. I don't
Yeah.
always know what I need.
Yeah. But what I was saying
So I
with the
ask.
diode of that is in the control room of our mind, as the subconscious mind, to have a certain amount of balance in what as much as we give, to put the dial for us to be able to resource on our own and to
Mm,
self love, and
Mm-hmm.
not to overexpend, you know, everything in within us to try to keep doing the work, because that then we're not in full presence or in full capacity, and that's when we miss those moments that you love so much, or we miss something that we could have done for us, or an opportunity because we're so all out to make that difference or to empower others or to whatever the story is at the moment. And now I'm doing that. And this was a good gift from all that have happened lately. That, you know what? If the pilot of this is not in full capacity, I'm not going to be able to fly this vessel. You know, I remember because
And that's why you have a co-pilot, right?
yeah, but I
What,
have,
so just to, I'm hearing you say we need community, and that's how we help each other.
yeah, and you, my sisters from the minute I met you in Hawaii, when we were in that Chopra thing, you know,
I was
we,
there just for the beach. I know, like like when I go back to that whole experience. I mean, we spent so much time not in the meetings, which was great. I
yeah,
just needed to get there and be on the
yeah,
land and be by the ocean and hug a
yeah,
palm tree and feel like
yeah,
the energy of the
yeah.
earth.
And our girlfriend was just fabulous because she's like, it's just pure light and laugh and fun, and she's lovely. She's just lovely, you know. Yeah, I appreciate, but since being a teacher for them, I couldn't really enjoy them as much as you girls did, because it's a tap on the teachers, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and, you know, for me, just reconnecting with you, the reminder of the sisterhood and you know, who we are, what we're here to do, and not to surrender to stuff that is not ours either. Because
Mm,
I felt a lot of compassion and I didn't understand, but I don't need to understand.
mm,
I don't need to understand. I
mm.
just need to stay with, like what you said, holding the light that I am. I'm going to continue to do my mission. And I'm super happy that I did not bring the big, this huge guests like, you know, Gabor Mata and all that, which have signed up to come to share their light too, in moments that they were not for the energy to hold them. Because that would be like, wow, what happened here, you know? And even then, you know, I'm fully committed and invested because this is for the world. You know, I just had a guest. She lives in Israel in the midst of what's going on right now. And she's nothing but light, love, compassion. She hugs trees. She said, the bombing starts, and I go and hug a tree. She was sharing all her little cactuses and her plants outside. She said, look at them. They have a family, their whole community of this cactuses, and I can feel how they're talking to each other. Somebody that is in a place like that, it's pretty remarkable to me, because here the media and all that, making things incredibly big, you know, and she's living it, and she's like, you know, I'm not going to a bomb shelter. I'm going to stay in my home because if something happens, I want to be here. You know, I know that I committed to a certain time and I'm a healer, she said, and I do all this work. So when my time is up, I can be in the most glorious place. So it's such an inspiration, you know, from Tel Aviv to us. My goodness.
Yeah. Yeah,
My
nothing that
goodness.
is ours can be taken. Nothing that belongs to us can be taken. And so
Yeah,
that's so beautiful.
yeah. And I
That
think
trust, that trust, that certainty, that unshakable confidence that life is truly for us.
it's the deep knowing, deep reconnecting, right?
Yeah.
It's just absolutely. so empowering to me. And your presence always so soothing. And just by showing up, I'm just fine. I'm good. And I would love for you to share with me, send me an email that, all the connections that you want to share with everybody here. And, how can they reach out, or if we can set up, say, once a month or whatever, a meditation that they can join a live here or Instagram or whatever, just to be able um, to give a
Yeah.
space that they can come to and feel that they're safe, taken care of, and supported.
Yeah. I feel like when you were talking about building, well, in my extended body, it was like feeling this golden net being established to hold the weight of the expansion of the glory. And this is connections. This is
Mm-hmm.
people. This is the light that we send forth. It's the light that we all are. And thank you for inviting me today. And thank you for all that you're doing to connect us, because this is what is happening right now is we are all becoming more connected. Thank God for the internet. Thank, like, all of these things that I think I dreamed about like years and years ago. I'm like, wouldn't it be cool if we could share energy just like over the computer? And and now we do this.
Yeah, we do this. We do this. Some people are so terrified of AI, but AI is something that we can command, that it needs something behind it. It doesn't get up in the morning and goes, oh, you know what, I'm going to be doing this, that, and that, and it's out of control. I mean, if we have been sending emails or text messages or using a phone, we've been using AI. Emails have been AI. Being in a computer, it's being AI. The non-understanding, I think, is the creates fear, and that's why I love teaching. I've
Mm-hmm.
been teaching since I was very young, and I will continue to do that until my last breath. And I was with Jane Goodall the day before she left her body, and I remember her saying, we all have to contribute one little bit, whatever it is. We all responsible for the whole. And her people are gonna come to do a podcast with us, and just to share all that loving kindness and how interconnected we are, and how a tree is so valuable, and a family of trees that supports orangutans or all the beings that she always loved, forestations, and she did such a beautiful work. And that is my journey, continue to share, educate, and, until her last breath, she was invested, and that's something I committed that I will continue to do with animals, with trees, with all the things I love from Mama Earth, and beings like you, that they're so committed. It's a commitment from all of us. Even a little gesture, even a little something that we can do can make the difference.
Yeah. Right.
Nothing's too small, right?
Nothing is too small.
I remember one time the Dalai Lama said, don't dismiss small things.
Mm.
And if you do, have you ever tried to sleep in a room with a mosquito?
That's a good converse analogy. And as someone, yeah, 100%. Sometimes it's the small things that make the biggest difference in my life. I have witnessed that, and so I endeavor to be more and more present to give what I can.
Yeah.
It doesn't cost us anything.
Nothing. We love you guys. We wish you all the peace, all the health, all
Yes.
the love, equanimity, and prosperity in any way. Our light is going to you, and just living, kindness and seeing things with a different part of our heart, because we all need that, and may things seem painful, but they're all one more step to the stairway to heaven.
Yeah. Amen. We're leaning into the light.
Mm-hmm.
Mwah.